Hello, welcome to Stagehand, the show where we talk about things I learned while being a stagehand. I'm currently in Johnstown, Pennsylvania with Disney on Ice, and today I think I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I've learned so far on the road. So I'm still learning the ropes. I just started like a month and a half ago. I have like my 50th show this week or something like that, so bear with me. But there's a lot of differences between, well, not really actually. I was gonna say there are a lot of differences between going from college life straight into tour life, but I've realized that there are actually a lot more similarities than you think. So I've been making like this long list of different like things I've been learning throughout this past month and a half, and I'm just gonna kind of go down the list a little bit. All right, first thing, I mentioned this in another video, bring silverware, bring utensils, bring a plate, a bowl. You're gonna need them. Don't do what I did and forget all of it, because you will be eating your meals with a coffee stir stick in your hotel room in Boston on your first night and be too terrified to go to the lobby to get a fork. Oh, you might not be, but I was. So another thing is that so many hotels do not have microwaves in every single room, and so you have to get like real creative with your meal options. A lot of these places do have like microwaves in the lobby, so I guess there's that. I mean, like if you were put in a hotel for a week that doesn't have a fridge or doesn't have a microwave, you have to really like think hard on how you're going to eat a good, like, well-balanced, diet, because you can't obviously go to a restaurant for every single meal. I've also learned that it's a lot harder, but not really. It can sometimes be a lot harder to make sure you're eating like fruits and vegetables and like, drinking enough water and all this kind of stuff. It's so easy to fall in the habit of just going to a restaurant and all this other kind of stuff, but you need to really be on top of that. So one thing I'm really glad I did was kind of only packing one bag. I'm allowed to have 2 checked bags plus a personal item and a carry-on for whenever we're flying. I also have a personal crate too to store any of my extra things if I want to. But basically I kind of came in with the mentality of I'm just gonna have one thing of things that I pack, because I know that once I get there are gonna be so many things that I'm gonna need that I just don't know, because I just haven't lived this lifestyle before, and I'm really glad I did that, because now I kind of have like my other bag is like half full now of just different various things that I needed. I'm not really too worried about getting everything back home at the end of all of this. I think 4 or 5, whatever, your immune system is going to be shit. Unless if you're really lucky. I've been sick more than I have not been on this tour, like for weeks straight, and so has most of the other crew as well. It's just so much easier to get sick because of all the people you're surrounded by. I take a lot of vitamins, vitamin C, and I have cough drops, and that was some of the things that I had to buy once I came here, was just a lot of cold medicine, because I was just not ready for how sick I would be feeling. Okay, so some weeks you will like really lose your patience at times, and then you'll come back like 2 days later to a different city and like have the best crew ever, and it's just like you get so much like whiplash and it's a great thing because it always keeps you on your toes. I mean, like even if you do have a really bad loadout or just a really bad experience in one city, you can kind of come into the next city with the mentality of like, all right, this is a new city, a new day, new people who don't know who I am, and kind of just go from there. And it's a nice little like fresh start. At least that's how I look at it. Yeah. Okay, so this is something fun. I had one of the like most miserable loadouts towards the beginning of tour, not because of the locals. This was in Rockford, local 217. They were amazing. They had their A game on, but like the world was against us for like this loadout and this entire week. Like we had a show canceled because of snow. And then later on in the week, for loadout, it was negative like 30 with the wind chill, and we had to load all 11 of our trucks with ramps outside, so it was not fun. All of our truck brakes froze. It was a 9-hour loadout instead of our 3.5, 4-hour loadout. But one of my locals decided to bring a bag of Halloween candy, and that shit got us through. It did. It really did. I had one person on my team who was taking the candy and kind of just putting it in my pocket throughout the night. It was so cold, by the way, that you could see your breath inside of the building. I mean, I know I work an ice show, but normally you can't. It was just awful. But yeah, and then she'd be like standing at the bottom of the ladder, like with a piece of like half-open candy ready for me. It was just like the most amazing thing. And ever since then, I have a little box that I have all my tools in, and I've been like stocking it with candy for locals, because I'm like, well, I know that what we're building here isn't the most fun thing in the world, but I know how much candy can help you get through at least a show, or at least through like a loadout when things are going a little bit chaotic. And then every once in a while too, I'll ask like during the load, and I'll be like, all right, what kind of candy do you want to see for the loadout? And then they'll be like, I need something sugar free, or I need some. I'm like, I will get that for you. So there's like 5 different types of candy in my scrim box right now, but it's fun. It gets us through. Okay, so I posted a little week in Columbus vlog in a sense. And if you saw it, you saw that I kind of was doing a lot of like gerbling before every single show and like every day. That honestly has been a really nice addition to my schedule and like my lifestyle. I wasn't huge into journaling before. Like I've done it before, not really consistently, but it's super, super nice and I would highly recommend it. It's very easy to just kind of bottle things up in this environment and to just go into the same show over and over and over again with like a grumpy mentality. But I found that like it's really nice because I can just like dump all of my like bad thoughts and like bad vibes and just any kind of problem going on or like any good thing going on or just everything into this journal so that I can like fully focus on what I'm doing during the show and then come back to it, you know, after the fact. It really makes me think through things, and then I can also analyze any show that I did or any mistakes that I made so that I can kind of like try to work out how I can make things better for like future load-ins, future load-outs, you know, future shows and everything like that. So I would honestly highly recommend it. It's really great. All right, last thing here that is very, very, very important that I've learned is setting boundaries. You are surrounded by the same group of people, like for every waking hour of your life. So this is very important. I'm not only talking about social boundaries, I'm also talking about like working boundaries as well. You're not gonna get along with everybody. Not everybody's gonna be your best friend, and that's totally fine, totally normal. That's just how life works. But it's very easy to feel like you're kind of surrounded by people all the time and that you're never left alone. But I've come to realize that it's actually not too difficult to find that like alone time or like just time where you can fully think and process like everything that goes on around you, because there's so much going on around you. On the work side of things, this is also very, very important. It is so easy to come home after working like a 12-hour day and just only think about what you're doing in the venue because you're still surrounded by, you know, your coworkers. But it's important to kind of separate that part of your life from what you're doing outside of work. And I sometimes like think about this like socially too. It's like there's like my work head of department and then there's my outside of work head of department, and those are like, it's the same person, but it's still at the same time 2 different kinds of people. Like I'm not gonna act the same way at home as I do at work, and I'm not really gonna expect anybody else to be the same. So it's very important to analyze social situations and conflicts with that mentality. It's also very, very easy to overwork yourself, and I know a lot of people who will like work through their breaks or like discuss what they're gonna do next during breaks. I try to avoid it as much as possible just because I like to utilize the time I have off away from work to kind of like stay mentally away from work, because otherwise you're so fully immersed in it. Okay, I lied. I have one more thing. Just because something is a challenge and the odds are stacked completely against you does not mean it has to suck. There's gonna be good days, bad days, good ins, good outs, good cities, bad cities, good locals, and locals that really need to take a shower, but at the end of the day, it is entirely what you make of it. Anyway, that's really just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what I've learned so far. But I'm really excited to see where this takes me in the future and learn more new things every single day. Anyway, stay spicy, y'all.